Many seemingly harmless everyday habits may be silently increasing your risk of stroke, especially after age 60. In this video, experts reveal which everyday behaviors are harming your brain's circulation, raising your blood pressure, and promoting the formation of clots, even without obvious symptoms. Watch and discover what really happens inside the body when small oversights accumulate. Diet, sleep, a sedentary lifestyle, self-medication, and even emotional stress can accelerate inflammatory processes and compromise cerebral vessels. This content is essential for those who seek to live healthier, more consciously, and with greater longevity. Watch until the end to learn how to protect your brain with simple and effective actions. Subscribe to the channel for more health and well-being content for older adults. Maybe you wake up every day, drink your coffee, read the newspaper, go about your daily routine, and believe that everything is fine with your body. After all, if you don't feel any pain, if there's no dizziness or tingling, then everything is fine, right? Wrong. Stroke doesn't warn you with a bang. It whispers, and often, when it finally screams, it's already too late. Today, we're going to talk about what's really going on behind the scenes in your body, about the habits that seem innocent, but that may be pushing you day after day towards a real and increasing risk. Let's start with what seems simplest: the salt hidden in everyday foods. You don't put much salt on your plate, right? But what about that bread roll you eat for breakfast? What about the sausage you eat for your afternoon snack? What about the ready-made sauce you eat for lunch? Salt isn't just in the salt shaker. It's hidden in products you consume without realizing it, silently raising your blood pressure. And high blood pressure is, without a doubt, the fastest route to a stroke. Often, you only discover it's there when your body is already screaming for help. Another insidious habit is a sedentary lifestyle disguised as a well-deserved rest. After the age of 60, the body demands more care, but not more silence. Sitting for hours watching TV, taking naps after meals, avoiding short walks because you're tired, all of this creates the perfect internal environment for blood vessels to become clogged. Blood needs to circulate, the body needs to move, even if it's just taking short steps, even if it's pausing. Immobility is a friend of stagnation, and stagnation in the circulatory system is fertile ground for clots that can reach the brain without warning. And then comes the invisible stress, the kind that doesn't show up in conversations but lives in tired eyes. It's the constant worry about your children, the fear of depending on someone, the silent anguish of no longer feeling useful. This type of stress, sustained for months or years, increases the production of hormones that put pressure on the cardiovascular system, altering the heart rhythm and inflaming the arteries from the inside. Your body feels everything you try to hide. Have you ever heard of the discontinuous sleep factor? That night when you wake up several times, don't really rest, and wake up already tired? Well, you should know. Sleepless nights directly affect the health of your blood vessels. The brain needs continuous rest to recover. Sleep deprivation increases the release of inflammatory substances, unbalances blood pressure, and increases the risk of arrhythmias, all of which create a dangerous scenario for a silent stroke. Now think about the drinks that accompany your meals: soft drinks, processed juices, or even too much sweetened coffee. All of these options directly affect glucose levels and blood viscosity. Excess sugar is as harmful as salt, and the combination of the two, sugar and sodium, forms a destructive duo that alters blood vessels and contributes to the formation of fatty plaques in the cerebral arteries. And there is also the danger of taking medication without supervision. Many people over the age of 60 take medication on their own. A pill for a headache here, another for sleeping there. But self-medication can affect blood pressure, heart rate, and blood viscosity. And worst of all, it can mask the body's early warning signs. A slight tingling sensation, a sudden dizziness, a momentary loss of vision can be camouflaged by pills that would silence a cry that needed to be heard. Another insidious habit that few people realize is constant social isolation. We are not just talking about loneliness, but about the lack of real interaction. Isolation affects the brain emotionally and physically. Studies show that isolated elderly people are more likely to develop chronic inflammation, heart problems, and a higher risk of stroke, because the lack of affection, conversation, and touch weakens not only the emotional system, but also the immune system, and an emotionally fragile body becomes more vulnerable to ruptures. And finally, there is a factor that no one talks about, but that weighs heavily: the accumulation of small withdrawals. Giving up on walking, taking care of your diet, taking tests, drinking water, stretching, giving up on yourself little by little, like someone who is silently turning off their own light. And it is precisely this extinguished light that allows the stroke to arrive unnoticed, because the body always gives signs, but you need to be awake, present, and willing to listen to them. If in the first block we revealed the habits that silently increase the risk of a stroke, now it's time to turn the key. Because information is only valid when it transforms, and transformation doesn't require great sacrifices. It's not about changing everything at once. It's about one step, then another, and then, without realizing it, you're on a new path, where your brain breathes better, your blood flows more smoothly, and your life pulses more clearly again. It all starts where everything else ends: blood pressure. If you don't already measure your blood pressure regularly, start now. At home, at the pharmacy, at the health center. Knowing your numbers is like knowing where you're standing. The ideal blood pressure is around 12/8. If it starts to rise silently, the small vessels in your brain become vulnerable. And all it takes is a spike, a pent-up anger, a fright, a bad night's sleep, for one of them to rupture or become blocked. Monitor it. Write it down. Take this information to your doctor. Awareness comes before prevention. The second step is to take a good look at your actual diet. It's not about a restrictive diet. It's about eating smart. Start with the basics. Increase your intake of dark green leaves, such as spinach, kale, and arugula. They help dilate blood vessels, facilitating circulation. Also include red fruits, such as strawberries, blackberries, and blueberries, which combat inflammation and protect the walls of blood vessels in the brain. Swap regular salt for salt with reduced sodium content or natural herbs. Cut down on ultra-processed foods as much as possible. If there are more than 5 ingredients on the label, your body probably can't handle it. And what about water? So forgotten, yet so essential. Drinking at least 2 liters of water a day keeps your blood at a healthy viscosity, preventing clots and facilitating the transport of oxygen to the brain. Water is the natural antidote to stroke, and it's within your reach every day. We can't talk about prevention without mentioning mindful movement. You don't have to run or go to the gym. Just walk 15 minutes a day, around the block, inside the house, in the backyard. Movement activates circulation, strengthens the heart, improves sleep, and reduces stress. And if you can, add a gentle stretch before bed. This simple practice helps relax the vessels, relieve tension, and prepare the brain for a true night's rest. And speaking of sleep, take care of it like you take care of your heart. Create a quiet, dark environment without screens. Avoid heavy meals at night. Establish a fixed time to sleep and wake up. Sleeping poorly directly affects your heart rate, hormonal balance, and brain health. If you wake up a lot during the night or feel like you can't rest, talk to a professional. Insomnia is not normal, and it's not harmless. Now, something that almost no one talks about, but that is transformative. Activities that stimulate the brain emotionally. Talking, laughing, listening to music, telling stories, dancing, learning something new. All of this strengthens neural connections and protects the brain from degeneration. An active brain is a resilient brain. And the more emotionally stimulated it is, the more it produces substances that balance the body as a whole. Avoid self-medication. If you need medication for blood pressure, cholesterol, or circulation, follow the prescription with discipline. Do not stop taking medication on your own, but also do not add medication without guidance. Incorrect combinations can cause unexpected reactions. And one of the main triggers of stroke in the elderly is the combination of medications that no one has monitored. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, rebuild your emotional bonds. Stroke is not just a biological issue, it is also emotional. Loneliness weakens you. The lack of touch, conversation, and belonging makes you sick inside. Call someone, send a message, ask for company for a walk, visit a relative, hug without rushing. Love is also prevention, because a heart full of affection sends healthy signals to the brain. You don't need to be afraid, you need to be aware. Stroke is a sneaky enemy, but you are not defenseless. Every choice you make today shapes the path your body will follow tomorrow. Don't wait for a scare. Be the person who decides, calmly and firmly, to protect your body with small daily actions. And if you've made it this far, you've already taken the first step. You chose to know. Now choose to live more consciously and never ignore your body's whisper again. He comments, "Now I know, and I'm going to change." Subscribe to the channel for more life-saving content. Share this video with someone in your family who needs to hear this.